So hello and welcome to the second edition of the Voice Magic. And in the meantime, I just tell you a little bit about voice, and I begin just now to make some sounds without voice. You know, this can also be quite loud, but it's without vocal cords. When we talk about voice, it's always the participation of the vocal cords, which are somewhere here in the throat, and they vibrate in the pitch we want to have it vibrate. And in the first edition, we were talking about the sound of the voice and how you can influence the sound of the voice by just imagining it differently. There was Adrian here, and he said he had a high voice before, and then he did some commercials and he had to speak, and he realized that this voice was too high. And so he began to imagine a lower voice. He recorded it, and then he saw, or better heard, how the voice changed by imagining it differently. And that's exactly what you can do. If you are not really content, happy with your voice, you can just think about it. How would you like to have it sound? And then you need to know that the voice you hear in your head, your own voice in your head, sounds differently than the voice other people hear from you. So if you really want to know how your voice is sounding, you better do a recording, but do it with a good device, because if you take a cheap one and the microphone is not good, then you get even more, how to say, disappointed, because the normal reaction is when people hear their voice for the first time that they are disappointed, that they think, oh, that's my voice. I didn't want it to sound like this. So you better get a better recording. And so all these, the moments of bad technical quality won't influence your opinion about your voice. You need to get a little bit accustomed to how your voice sounds for other people. But reality is good. If you know how the voice sounds like, you can use it in a different way. When you have only the idea of how it sounds like and have no reality check, then how do you know how it sounds for other people? So better you know it. Okay, this is one thing. And then I started out to tell you, sometimes the voice has a problem, or you have a cold, or you have screamed too much. Young people in discotheque, they, try to sing and shout louder than the very loud music, and the voice goes away. And what you can do in this case is just to talk without voice. And this is without voice. But for to be understandable, when you don't have the voice, you have to talk slower and keep longer on the vowels like I do now, because otherwise when I talk like this, you wouldn't understand it when I talk very quickly. I'm quite sure of that. So I think you can use these techniques to have a healthy voice, because one thing you should never do, when you have your voice tired and you see it's cracking and it's something like this, and you try to get louder and force on it, then you really risk to have, first of all, lose the voice for several days. And when you insist, then little knots will build on the vocal cords, and you are in the danger to permanently damage your vocal cords. Then sometimes people go to the doctors and have the operation, but that is not really good. You mentioned the voice are like chords on the guitar, and when they have to vibrate freely, And when you have a scar on the vocal cords, the vibration is not free anymore. So a really good sound is difficult to get after an operation. So it is so much better that you just don't give too much force on the vocal cords, that you take care for them, that you don't overload them. And at the first sign of fatigue, of the first sign that the voice is sort of going away, be quiet and talk like this if you really have to talk. Okay, that's for today. Bye-bye.